let's talk about fandoms. What I mean by this is let's think on how to improve them, because I am sick of the sheer amount of drama toxicity and their current development, to be honest. By this, I am not saying that toxicity and drama haven't always been around. I am not going to glaze over whatever the Undertale and the used fandom was back in the day, because I lived it. I come from there, okay? So I have quite an experience in toxic fandom and drama culture. What I mean is that some people have literally called one of the healthiest ships around currently, which is Hua Chang and Xilian from Heaven Official's Blessing, toxic. If you know nothing about Heaven Official's Blessing, these two are the purest ever, most not toxic. Like, if they are toxic to you, get out. I mean it, get out. Anyways, what is a fandom? Reading from Google, a fandom is the state or condition of being a fan of someone or something. Or it can also be described as the fans of a particular person, team, fictional series, etc., regarded collectively as a community or a subculture. One of the main characteristics of fandoms as of today are three important pillars, mostly for pieces of media: discussion regarding the piece of media, fan art, and fan fiction. Discussion. This can range from a group of conspiracy theorists in a room that smells like despair, anguish, and energy drinks to two or more monkeys throwing excrements at each other, as per which identical female character is better to gun at. The first group sometimes will discuss headcanons, stuff added to the canon. What is the canon is what is mentioned, confirmed, and so on in the story or by the author to add to the character, as not everything is always discussed in the canon story, but also because it's fun to imagine characters placed in different environments. What is discussed can be expanded upon visually via fan art, which is depicting a character with canon or canon from a piece of media, and fanfiction, where most canons are expanded upon. These three are the pillars of a fandom. They are what, deep down, every and each fandom has. Some fandoms, when they reach a big enough size, they might have music, fandoms of fanfiction, of translations made by fans, fan translation they're called. Many could have cosplays, which are also something very common as of late. But the important three are discussion, fanfiction, and fan art. These three are not only the easiest to do, because discussion, you just have to type your emotions, your feelings, your everything about a character, a part of the story, etc. Fan art, you just need a pen and paper, and fanfiction, you need a phone, Google Documents, and a website. To be honest, all of these three don't require any fancy equipment, and they are important because of this. And what I wish to say is that generative AI is putting at risk two of these pillars. You'd have to imagine a pyramid with only one line, a triangle with only one line. You cannot imagine it, because sure, they would always be there, but is it really fan art? Is it really fan fiction if you had a bot make it for you? And in addition, for generative AI, I must add chatbots. I am not against the idea of using a chatbot for basic tasks, such as, hey ChatGPT, could you please put this list of names I have typed out in an alphabetical list? This thing I could do with Excel, but to be honest, ChatGPT could also do it. And it's the same thing, to be honest. It is a sorting function that many softwares have. It's fully algorithmical, it is mathematical, you have A, B, C, D, etc. Of course, to make an AI image, an AI generated image, you get an average. Okay, you have a set of photos and you get an average from them per what you've asked. However, the difference between these two is that in one, it's mathematical, A, B, C, D, etc. While in the others, often enough for some pieces of art, a hint of creativity is required, or even just the thing about making art is you're putting time and effort for a character you enjoy. You make it as a tribute to a character, and what tribute is there if you are paying a bot? Because often enough right now generative AI models are behind a paywall, and what kind of effort are you putting in there? You're not even commissioning an artist, which you might say is similar. It isn't, because in that situation you're helping someone else. Someone else is doing the work for you, but it is someone else who is gaining something out of it, as in they are gaining extra followers, they are doing something, etc. They're gaining work, which in this economy we need the work as humans, okay? And same goes for fanfiction. Personally, if you're asking ChatGPT for fanfiction, get out. Get out. If you use character AI, get out. Google is free, and so is Google Documents, Google Drive. Many of those things, you do not need Word, you do not need a fancy writing equipment. You can use Google Documents. And if you do not have those, pen and paper. Like we did in the old times, in class. Like, what I mean by this is that generative AI is placing not a danger to the work, because most of the fandom generated, well, not really generated, but most of the creation in a fandom is done by people in it for it. It is not the work, but it is putting at a risk the genuinity, the experience, alright? It is putting at a risk the experience of people, thinking that, oh, but that is quicker, and that it's boiling down, it's watering down everything that is the fandom. And that is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid for it because I've lived in fandom and I would like to keep on living in it. And I would also like another thing. This thing I would also like is the respect of tags, of content warnings, of reading the tags of a story before you delve into it, which is something I don't really do, but I'm also someone who doesn't go on the internet talking about, oh, this thing had this, which was told that it was there. Let me use Ennead as an example. Ennead is a story which you could describe as a sexual abuse fest in Egyptian mythology sauce. It has all of the content warnings in the book. You can have all of the content warnings. They are probably there. Some people enjoy it because it is complex. It has some nice moments. The art style is quite nice. I have read only part of it because university, and if I had to suffer, to be honest, I would have preferred to suffer for something that wasn't fictional, so I just went on and consumed fluff and wholesome stuff, okay? That's why I wasn't reading it, because I was already stressed and that was putting a strain on my mental health. And guess what some people don't do? They do not respect the tags. Do you want to read it? No? Then why are you here? You have read the tags. In the tags, there's something you don't like? Great! Leave! It is called Dead Dove Do Not Eat, and it is the main thing I fight for. Let's have Dead Dove Do Not Eat content labeled as such, because not all people might want to savor it, okay? Okay, really, you don't really need to savor it. It's a dead dove, like you shouldn't even want to be eating it, as in food-wise, but content-wise, it means something very complex, very dark, and I mean dark, dark, dark. And some people enjoy reading dark romance. Dark romance is a huge thing on Amazon books. Like, there are a lot of dark romance books. There are a lot of dark romance fanfiction. Us humans like reading about toxic relationships because they are not real. We do not want them, but we can read about them. And if somebody is saying, but this thing is bad, it is toxic, if you are reading it, you know it is bad, and you're reading it because it is bad, okay? And what I feel like many people do not understand is, if the tags are there, they are there for a reason. You knew what you were getting into. You can only complain to yourself. Your phone, if you're reading from a phone, can be turned off. The tab on Google or whatever browser you're using can be closed. Your computer can be turned off. And why are you here complaining about something you could avoid? Editing is still here. The recording for the audio was too short compared to the recording of the speed paint, so yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. closing off, this is Easter Nocturia, and I hope you enjoyed the video. All of the links are in the description, and the character I was drawing today was Shadow Milk Cookie from the Cookie Run Kingdom franchise. I hope this video wasn't too bad, since you're here at the end, so you did not click off, and that's a lot for me, so thank you very much for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Easter loud!